Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bantz with Lawrencia. How are you all doing? Hope you're doing great. Now for today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Guobadias. This is Porsha Williams and Simon Guobadia. Now, if you don't know Porsha Williams, Porsha is one of the cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Porsha is very beautiful. Porsha is Porsha. She's very high maintenance and she likes to be taken care of by her man. Now, Porsha got married to an athlete who the marriage ended during the cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She divorced him. She didn't get anything, so she started dating. She got engaged to one Derek and they had a baby. Now, Porsha, according to her, Derek cheated and he is broke because after the divorce from her first marriage, Porsha was left with nothing. So she had to work hard. She started businesses. She was making money. So when she realized that Derek, her baby daddy, was not, pulling his weight, she decided to end that relationship. She moved on. She bought $1 million house. She was, Porsha was doing okay for herself. Now there was a new castmate who she brought into the group because all those Real Housewives, you have to bring somebody to the group. So she brought Flying, or can't really pronounce her name. She brought her to the group, and Flying was married to Simon Guobadia. Now, Simon is a Nigerian. He's a Benin man. Simon, oh my God. When he was introduced to the cast through Porsha and his wife, Flying, they were, they introduced them as this, very rich, very high maintenance couple. Their house was massive. The day Porsha, they shot at their house, Porsha was just like, wow, 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 wow. Not knowing that Porsha was eyeing that lifestyle. Apparently, a couple of months later, news started flying that Porsha was dating Simon Guobadia. Now, Simon was still married to Flying. So people were thinking, how could Porsha bring a cast member who presumably was her friend or is her friend and then snatch the husband or start dating the husband when they were still married? So that was going on. Flying came out, talked about how it was an open marriage. She was having her own affair. Simon also came out, bashed his wife, Flying, saying that, she was dating the nanny. It was such a messy situation. After that, Porsha and Simon went public. Now, when they went public, people started digging into Simon's life. They said that Simon is a fraudster because the lifestyle was not lifestyling. Nothing was adding up because he was like, oh, I'm a businessman. What business are you doing? Nobody could tell. So people were questioning his source of income because he was busy buying Bentleys for both Porsha and his ex-wife. Then he gifted them both the same Bentley. So people were thinking, this guy is just capping. There's no way. Where is the money coming from? Porsha, on the other hand, was saying, oh, her husband is rich, her husband is this, her Nigerian prince. They got engaged. They dated for 1 month. According to them, they dated for 1 month and then they got engaged. Now, the wedding was the talk of the town because they did traditional Benin wedding. They did white wedding. They actually went to Nigeria to do the traditional marriage. The engagement was lavish. Porsha did bridal party. They flew on private jets. Everything was lavish, lavish, lavish. Now, people were now thinking, there's no way this guy, where are you making this money from? Porsha, we can understand that, okay, she's an influencer. People will gift her some of these things. How is Simon making his money? Simon was busy, behaving like an odogu, saying that, he has this, he has businesses, he's employed so many people. They were flying to different countries. Now, Americans, they are not like Nigerians that they don't care how you make your money as long as you have money. So the Americans were digging into Simon. Now, they got married 15 months ago. So apparently after they got married, a month after they got married, remember they dated for a month, they got married after a month, and then after a month after they got married, Simon applied for US passports. Now Simon has a green card. Now green card is just like maybe if you're in the UK, indefinite leave to remain or something like that. Now Simon wanted a green card. He applied for it. He was rejected a month after they got married. He applied again. 6 months later, he was rejected. Now, just this February, Simon applied for another. He was saying that, oh, he's been here for over 30 years. Why are they rejecting him? He actually filed asking them to give him the US passport. That was when the US got, US immigration got angry, and then they released documents of why they refused him passports. Maybe they were sharing the documents with Simon, and Simon was not sharing the documents with Porsha. Nobody knows how the whole thing was going on. The US immigration released a document stating why Simon has been denied several times, or over 3 times. His application has been denied. Now they said that Simon came into the US as a visitor, or with a visitor's visa, in the early 80s. He stayed. Normally visitor's visa is 6 months. Simon overstayed by 3 years. Now they wrote him, and within those times, with a visitor's visa, you cannot really work. So Simon was committing fraud, credit card fraud, every crime in the book. Simon was doing it to survive. Now, they now told him that they were going to deport him. So Simon decided to travel voluntarily back to Nigeria instead of being deported. He went back to Nigeria. And 6 months later, Simon, or is it 2 weeks later, there was this agricultural program that they were doing at that point. Simon decided to get the visa, which was why he decided to go back voluntarily, so that he could use that visa to come in. This was already arranged and everything. Simon used a different name because he knew that the immigration office, they already know him by whatever name, the identity they used in saying that they were going to deport him. Simon changed the identity and used a different name to apply and come into the country with that agricultural visa. So he was granted a visa. Simon came into the United States. Now, I think he was trying to extend that visa when they now realized that, okay, this is the same person who we threatened to deport, and now they used a different name to apply. Simon was deported back. When he used that agricultural visa to get into the US, he was still committing crime. Simon could not just work legitimately. He was doing fraud, bank fraud, credit card fraud. He was defrauding. This guy cannot do a legitimate job. He was just defrauding people. Now, all these records were in the system. That was when they realized that, oh, this person that was committing the same crime is the same person that we denied, or we wanted to deport because he overstayed and he was committing crime. He was deported back. 2 weeks later, Simon changed the identity, used a different identity, which is probably the Simon Guobadia, to enter back into the US. Now, Simon is in the US with this new identity, and he continued with fraud. So Simon was still doing the fraud and everything, but the US government, they were just like, this guy, he's not worth our time, let's just leave him. He still continued with the whole fraud stuff, but he got smarter. Probably getting other people to do the job while he, the master puppeteer. Now, fast forward to when he decided to apply for passports. These were all the things that the immigration documents contained, that they denied him because he is a fraudster. His current source of income, nobody knows what he does to get money. Simon says he's a businessman. He owns so many businesses. What are those businesses? Nobody knows. Now, Porsha, on the other hand, has filed for divorce because she's getting back into the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I think she doesn't want that to affect her in any way. But let's just say that, okay, some people are saying that it's a stunt, that she's not aware that her husband, Simon, was doing all these things. I highly doubt it. Okay, let's say you dated him for a month before you got married to him. The ex-wife, Flying, actually said that Simon was broke. Simon did not have any money. There are some times that they will go to club and they will spend, let's say, $20,000, and the next week they will be looking for money. You know how this fraud money is now. Like this week you are going to hit a big mugu and you're going to have a lot of money. And because when you don't earn money legitimately, they're going to spend it. Can you imagine somebody going to the club to spend $20,000 and then next week they are broke because they are waiting for another mugu to pay? So flying, this was what she complained about, and Simon came out online and bashed her, said that she's lying, she's bitter, she's this, she's that. After the divorce, because Simon, yes, he is doing all these things, but he has acquired some level of, wealth for himself. Not at the level that he's flashing, but he has some money. So after the divorce, he obviously married Porsha. People were, even when they got engaged, people were digging out his record, talking to Porsha about it. Everybody was making videos, talking about how this guy, the source of income is questionable. The ex-wife was talking and they said that she's just bitter. She's a bitter ex-wife because Porsha snatched her husband. So she's trying to just discredit him. Now, back to the current state. Porsha has filed for divorce after 15 months of marriage, not even 2 years. That wedding was lavish. That wedding was big. That wedding was massive. And she has filed for divorce. I don't even know how to react to these things because we're just still processing who the F did I marry by Risa Tessa. And I think Porsha is thinking, who the F am I divorcing right now? Because this guy has 3 identities. We don't even know. Okay, the first one, maybe that was his real name. Because in the 80s, you could easily take somebody's document to travel. Probably that was not even his real name. I don't think anybody knows who Simon is. Okay? Because remember in the 80s, people were traveling by sea, by road, by whatever. People were using other people's documents to travel because I don't think the whole system was that sophisticated at that point. So people were traveling all kinds of way then. But for you to use 3 identities to enter why US? You could have easily gone to a different country. And okay, let's say you got into the country the second time. Why not stop crying? Some people are saying that Porsha is not aware. I doubt it. I doubt it. Some women are just happy. Once the money is coming in, they are happy to enjoy that money. You said your husband, okay, let's say they dated. Let me give her some credits because, okay, they dated for a month. Maybe she was not really, she just saw a rich man or somebody who appears to be a rich man and she just jumped into the whole thing without really doing her background check. I can guarantee you that wedding was sponsored by Porsha because there was a whole lot of videos online where Porsha gifts him a lot of things. This man gifted Porsha a Rolls Royce that he gifted his ex-wife. So, and according to the story, there's nothing in Porsha's name. So everything is in Simon's name. Porsha, they will just buy and give you and say, okay, take this one. I think this Valentine, Simon did not even get Porsha anything. Porsha had to travel to Dubai. And at that point, there were kind of rumors that Simon is already cheating on Porsha because they've not seen for months. For somebody to file for a divorce 15 months after marriage, trust me, that marriage ended over a year ago. It ended over a year ago. For you to now, okay, bring up the courage to say, when you do such a massive wedding, when everybody was happy for you, thinking, okay, you found your happy ending, it will take a lot for you to now come out and say, this marriage is sham, this marriage is not working. So I think it took her a long time, probably more than a year, to come to that realization that I don't want this for my life. I don't want this, So regardless of how people want to say, oh, Porsha is not aware, I doubt it. If I want to get married to somebody right now, I'm hearing rumors about, his dealings, shady dealings, he's a fraudster, he's this. I would sit down, especially in a civilized world where they have a robust database, do a background check on that person just to find out, okay, is there any truth to what people are saying? The ex-wife was talking, but Porsha felt she is just bitter. You snatched her husband. And one of the reasons, one of the issues in the marriage, earlier on in the marriage, was that Simon was not faithful. Simon just wanted Porsha to get into the Real Housewives or to be famous. To be honest, I just think Simon wanted to he is delusional. Simon is delusional because for somebody to use 3 identities to enter into the UK and committed fraud with the 3 identities, that person is a delusional person. He's delusional. If you travel, regardless of how you have traveled, you get into any country, before you start doing any shady things, make sure you have sorted your papers. I'm not saying sort your paper out and start doing shady things, but before you even, make sure that at least you have one leg in the place, because you could easily get deported. Now, Simon, with all his businesses or the claimed businesses he has in the US and everything, he is going to be deported. There's no way from what was written in the document, because his stay in the US is illegal. Which of the names? He had 3 identities. Which of them is the real Simon? So it's a very difficult situation. I don't even know how he's going to get out of it. And Porsha has filed for divorce. Before you marry that person, spending money lavishly and everything, sit down and think about what is the source of income. Even if you're getting married to somebody that is shady, try and package it. Move from, you've made money. Sometimes people just get greedy. You've made money doing shady things, and you just, some people cannot do legitimate things. They cannot, to save their life. You've made money. Why not transition into something legal and do it? I am not advocating for people doing illegal stuff, but at some point in your life, you have to tell yourself the truth. You have to be able to turn your life around. This man has 5 children. Such a big disgrace. Everybody now is talking about Nigerian prince. Nigerians are scammers. All Nigerians in Atlanta are scammers and all that. These are hush puppy. Simon Guobadia. These are the faces of Nigerians now. And all the hardworking Nigerians, nobody is talking about them, because these 2 dingbats decided to be just no good for themselves. Anyway, I don't know, Porsha, I wish you all the best. I just pray baby girl did not sponsor that wedding, because if she did, thank you very much for watching today's episode. Today's episode is once again sponsored by DDBT's Wigs. So our details are on the screen. If you want something like this, let us know. We sell wholesale, retail, and if you want to partner with us, we're happy to do that. Thank you very much. Please like and share. Thank you very much. Bye bye.